Hey everyone, it's Jen with Pretty Little Garden. Are you done with your fall cleanup? I know I am not. I am far from it. So I've been trying to make the most of every nice day, and today is one of those days in Western New York. It is just absolutely beautiful. The wind is starting to pick up, but I just got done working outside for a few hours this morning, just continuing with, taking down my annual pots. I took down my tomatoes, pruned a few things back, and I'm trying to just take advantage of every nice day that I can, that I'm available, every nice day that I can to continue on with the fall cleanup. It'll get done eventually, right? Sometimes I think we stress out about, the winter's coming and there's still so much to do, but I think we're all in the same boat, and we just, take each day and try the best with the day that we have. And that's all that we can do, right? And try to enjoy it along the way. That's what I said to myself today in the garden. I really just wanted to just enjoy the color around me, the beautiful weather, the beautiful day, the breeze in the air. Those are all parts of enjoying your garden too. So why don't you come along with me today and we'll get some fall cleanup done. Okay, welcome to my backyard, and this is Tuesday, November 4th here in Western New York, and it's a beautiful morning, and I'm just noticing the color all around me, the leaves that have fallen to the ground, and the crunch from those leaves just put me in a great mood to start my fall cleanup. And I always like to start off with just surveying the scene. So I'm just simply walking around my backyard and taking a look at what needs to be done. And I'm also noticing the beautiful red-orange color of the golden flame spirea that you see at the bottom of the screen there. And I'm just walking through the garden and just noticing all the different colors. There's so much interest this time of year. And I was also noticing the birds in the trees. Most of the leaves have fallen from my river birch trees, and so it was very easy to see the birds. I saw some cardinals and some blue jays, and they were very vocal this morning, which was lovely to listen to. It was about 9:30 in the morning, and the sun was starting to shine down on my garden, and everything was just golden and beautiful. So I'm realizing I think I need to start working and stop walking around and admiring everything, because I'd like to get some work done too. So let's get started. So I'm going to get started on these planters on my back patio. These were the planters that I had my beautiful coleus in, and I was so pleased with them this year. You can see they were zapped by the frost, but I still have some asparagus fern in there that's looking pretty good. And let's just take a walk back in time. This is what they looked like just a few weeks ago. They were gorgeous. On the left is the Golden Dreams coleus from Proven Winners. On the right is another coleus I don't know the name of. I also had some Creeping Jenny in there. There's a begonia hiding in there, as well as some asparagus fern. Just a beautiful combination this year. And as you can see, I've simply cleaned it out. I left the asparagus fern. I don't think it's hardy in my area, but I'm going to leave it for now. I think with it up against the house, that could provide some protection. I'm just showing a little clip of my husband's sneakers. There's a spider living in there currently, and I'm really afraid to even move those sneakers. And here's the other pot, and I'm just going to take that down as well. And I just, took the coleus out, and I just shook off some of the excess soil. I don't plan on, changing out that whole container of soil. I will probably just top it off with some compost and biotone in the springtime. Now I'm going to move over to the pots on this table here. I had some diamond frost euphorbia in here, It looked beautiful over the summer with my lemon cypress, just beautiful. So my lemon cypress is currently in my garage, and I plan on taking that in the house, into overwinter it in the house. And you can see this was the Diamond Frost Euphorbia. It's such a beautiful annual, by itself, as you can see, or in combination planters. It's just gorgeous. So I just took all of the soil out of those little pots because there were so many roots, and I just tucked them into that aqua pot right there. Moving along, I am going to tackle this little patch of zinnias next. These were my ballerina zinnias, and I will be taking those down, but why don't we just take a walk back in time and talk about the ballerina zinnia. Okay, this is my patch of ballerina zinnia. I really wish I would have put them in more places because I really just love them so much. And I'll give you a close-up on some of the blooms. You can see this bloom here. It looks a little bit more, let me see if I can get it in the sun. It looks a little bit more crinkly. Isn't that gorgeous? Look how big that is. And then you have a bloom that has maybe a little bit more of a smoother petal to it. And you can see there's, a combination of a peachy color, and then you have pink. Look at this one here. So pretty. Really love it. And, some of the blooms are bigger than others. See, that one's a little bit more, it's a little smaller, but, has an interesting look to it. And different shades of pink. This one is a little more pale pink than, the one I just showed you had a little bit more darker pink there. So really just a beautiful, and some of them are just a combination of, the peach and the pink combined. Just a really beautiful flower. And let me just show you another. This one has more of the cactus style bloom to it, I guess you would call it. I call them the crinkly leaves, or the crinkly petals on that. Look at that. Beautiful. So you can see I have taken that entire patch down. I will definitely be repeating the ballerina zinnia. Moving on, I have this perennial grass that was winter sown. It is from Botanical Interests, and it's called the blue grandma grass. And it looked so sweet and cute in this little container that I had it in. And I especially loved the little feather plume on top. I'm trying to give you a shot of that right here. But let's take a walk back in time and look at the blue grandma grass. This is something that I winter sowed. It's from Botanical Interests. I'll kind of put the little seed packet, picture the seed packet up so you can see. It's a perennial grass, but I grew it in the winter sown jug. Didn't touch it at all until it was nice and ready to come out of the container. This was one of the last winter sown things that I planted up, and I've loved it. You can see it's starting to put on kind of a red color. Let me go in. You can see it's starting to kind of turn red for the fall, but I just thought it had a really unique plume that came up. Let me see if I can zoom in and show you. It looks like a little feather. See, looks like a little feather, and I just thought that was so interesting. Let's see if I can show you this one here. I can get it to focus. Anyways, this is the blue grandma grass. It's a perennial grass. Now we're moving on to my raised garden bed, where I planted several different varieties of zinnia this past summer. And as you can see, I removed all of the flowers, all of the zinnia flowers, and I will be adding some compost to the top of that bed. But let's take a look back at what I planted. Garden bed, which I have a bunch of different kinds of zinnias that are just starting to bloom, as well as some teddy bear dwarf sunflowers. So let's see. Right over here, I've got ballerina zinnia on this side here, a little patch right here. Right along back here, I think these are also some ballerina zinnia. And then they transition into Bennery's Giant Lime. And I do have some Bennery's Giant White on the other side. And let me come around. I did have some, just some zinnias. And then I just want to show you in the middle, I have the Botanical Interest Dwarf Teddy Bear Sunflower, which I really am liking. I had a first bloom the other day and I cut it for Ella's bouquet for her little arrangement. But here you can see this one is starting to open up. And those were from Botanical Interest. They are going to be so sweet when they pop up. I'm adding some compost to the top of my raised flower bed. I didn't do this last year after planting zinnias in my raised garden bed last year. And in the springtime, I found that the soil was compact and really hard to dig, and it wasn't too loose. So I did some research and found that I really need to be covering my raised bed with something to protect it in the fall, and compost is a great option. It's helpful to add compost to your soil because it helps build your soil up over the winter months. It has many months to break down and integrate into your soil, and it also helps replenish nutrients after your summer growing season when it's depleted of nutrients. And in terms of microbial activity, even in the cooler months, beneficial microbes stay active longer under a composted layer. And it also helps protect from erosion and compaction. Sometimes, the heavy rain, winds, and snow can wash away soil or compact bare soil. And when spring rolls around, it'll be so much easier to plant. Your soil will be loose and rich and ready to plant. So I'm just spreading about 1 to 2 layers of compost onto my raised garden bed. Now I'm moving over to my tomato pots, and here they are. I did my best to harvest as many as I could. You can see there's still quite a few tomatoes left, but they've all been hit by at least a couple of light frosts and one good hard frost. So they're kind of mushy and, not edible at this point. But I so enjoyed planting tomatoes this season, and they were delicious. Let's just take a look back. I planted a combination of indeterminate and determinate tomatoes. These were my favorite. These were the red cherry tomatoes, and they were indeterminate, which means they keep producing constantly all season, and they're a vining type tomato. So I really enjoyed those. I also grew some determinate varieties. The Celebrity, those are the bigger ones in my basket there. That's a determinate type, which means you get one bush and one crop from the determinate tomatoes. And I also grew Roma tomatoes, which I believe those were a determinate variety as well. And I also really enjoyed, I just had one sweet green bell pepper plant, but it really produced, and I enjoyed that as well. And as you can see, I've cleared out all of my containers and tried to get as many of the roots out as I could. And I'm planning on using the same soil next year and just bumping it up with some compost and biotone. Now we're moving on to my peony patch. As you can see, these peonies have been long gone. They're hit by the powdery mildew, and I need to cut them back. But let's take a look at what they looked like in their prime. They are starting to open up and bloom. This is the Dr. Alexander Fleming peony. Let's pull this down and just take a look. How beautiful. And as you can see, It's quite a large clump here that I have, and it's so exciting when they just start to open and they're sort of like still in that marshmallow state. It just gives you such a feeling of anticipation and hope. And I can also smell it. Oh, it smells so good. The Dr. Alexander Fleming peony. And then right over here, these here, this little clump right here, this is Sarah Bernhardt, which is also a beautiful, beautiful shade of, I think it's like a just slightly paler pink than the Dr. Alexander Fleming, from what I can recall. And, you know, when your peonies finally open up and start to bloom, I mean, isn't it a joy just to come out and look at them every day? It's not a long-lived bloom, so when it does finally start to wake up, you really have to pay attention. Pay attention and enjoy. Take pictures. Just sit on your back. Well, for me, I sit on my back patio and I just drink it in. Because this is truly what life is about. And here they are, all cut down. You just cut them right down to the ground. I usually leave about 2 inches above the soil level. So you can see they're all cut down and ready, for next year. And this is my serendipity allium that I planted as well this past summer. And I'm going to just cut the tops off of those as well. But let's take a look at what they looked like in their prime. Serendipity allium. I just cut them down, and don't they look sweet and beautiful and golden surrounded by the leaves? And I'm almost done for today. I'm just looking around at other things that I still have left to do. I do have several hydrangeas left in pots that I'm really getting to the point where, it's getting a little touch and go as to whether or not I should plant them in the ground or maybe heal them in their pots or bring them into my shed to overwinter. Look at that cute little ladybug that I found on the leaf of my snow fountain weeping cherry tree. I had to zoom in and show you that. So I will definitely be coming back with more fall cleanup. I'm just sort of assessing what else I have to do here. And after a morning of fall cleanup, Lucy and I finished with a walk in the park. We really enjoyed looking at all of the fall foliage, and there was a flock of geese kind of hanging out in the park, and we always enjoy our walks together. Thanks for joining me today as I continued with my fall cleanup, and I will see you next time right here in my pretty little garden. Have a great day.